Okay, so anybody that joined, I see, looks like someone from China would be my guess. I don't know Chinese, so I'm not much help there. But I see that someone from China may have just joined on the stream. Welcome if you understand, if you know English, because I don't know Chinese. I just barely chose to do a big ol' honkin'. It'll be my first really big load. And I recently upgraded to 700 horsepower and a better tranny, so I'm hoping it goes well. But it looks like it's 44 tons. And I'm going to be hauling it from here to some other city. I don't remember which one. I'll look it up in a second and update the stream. But actually, you know what? I'm going to kill it. I'm going to kill this. Okay, so I'm back. So this is my next job, an asphalt miller. It looks like it's 44 tons. So I recently upgraded to 700 horsepower and a 12+2 tranny. So I'm hoping I have what it takes to haul this thing. But it looks pretty big. It's got the steerable axles, which definitely throw me for a loop sometimes. But I'm going to be going from Venezia on the northeast of Italy to Torino, which is on the northwest, over near France. So I'm actually about to back in and pick up the trailer right now, and then I'll get headed out. I'm not 100% sure I'll stream the whole thing tonight, but I guess as long as I can do it in under about an hour, then that won't be too bad. By that point, it will be my bedtime. So let's go ahead and pick this up. And I should be... Okay. So... looks like I need to swing it this way a little bit. Something like that, I think. Yeah. I do have advanced trailer sometimes, so sometimes I don't quite make it. But looks like I've got 7.5 hours before I have to sleep, and less than 7 hours to make the delivery. So assuming I don't make any major mistakes, I should be able to do this. Actually, let's look. And I do have time to sleep if I have to, but at that point I'll probably be really cutting it for time. So one thing I did want to do before I leave Venezia is I want to swing past this guy. So we're going to go around there. Is there anything else I want to explore while I'm out? Now, I'm a little hesitant to explore these little narrow ones with such a big trailer. And I don't want to go on any narrow roads if I can help it. So I'm actually going to, as much fun as this would be with this trailer, I've been everywhere in Milano. If I come down here, what kind of a change do I get on the time? I'm doing that. I'm totally doing that. Save me all kinds of hassle going through those little roads. So, Verona to Torino with an asphalt miller at 44 tons. By far my heaviest load yet. Let's get this thing on the way. Right now I've got my Tobii eye tracker turned on. Nope, I turned it off. Now I have it turned on. And we'll see how many of these 12 gears I have that I'm going to need to use to effectively pull this guy. Oh, and I had better drop my extra axle. Okay, let's go. So we're going to go straight ahead out of here. That was a nice turn signal about too late, guy. Okay. So they have the right of way. That's what the little diagonal, or not diagonal, diamond sign means. Move this a little closer. Diamond sign means they have the right of way. And I have got to wait. Okay, I'm turning my Tobii off for a minute. Okay. Okay, let's do this. We're going to go for 3 high before we drop to 4 low. And I'm going to turn the Toby back on. Whoa, do not hit me, please. And I hit somebody. Not sure how I did that. Pretty sure they hit me, but in this game it's always my fault, so. Okay. Get some engine brake going on here. Oh, that was close. I almost did hit him on that one. Oop, oop, oop. Okay. So we'll see what's up here. I don't need the engine brake right now, so we'll turn it back off. That's how I thought it might be. Recruiting agency. Okay, I'm going to kill Toby at this point. And we've got an even sharper corner. Let's... Oh, that was not the... I mean, not completely end of the world, but... So far, so good on my gears. We'll see if I can get started here, though. I'm definitely going to have to take this wide. Ah. I was able to do it. Or not. Okay, we're going to try that again. Already looks to be a fun load. Okay, we're going to crawl it. Apparently I'm low on air. And I don't want to play the radio right now. How was it so easy to do the first time? And now, for the life of me, I can't nail it. Let's get some air built back up. Okay. So let's try this again. Okay, so what's happening on my truck here? That's what I thought was happening. Okay, we're going to try and do this. Get a little more traction going here. Come on. I might kind of be out of luck here. Looks like maybe it's time to get towed and get a heavier axle. Okay, let's get towed here. Yes. And it looks like that also means I'm going to be late. Hopefully I'm facing outward, otherwise I'm not going to make it out of here. Okay. So let's get that truck upgrade so I can get some more traction. Axle. And we're going to go... I don't know if I need to go to an 8x4, but I go to a 6x4. 8x4 would definitely get the job done. You know what? We're going to do the 8x4. we're gonna do the 8x4. We're going all the way, because I think this is about the heaviest thing I can haul. What? Not enough money? Oh. Oh, wait. Okay. So am I going to have to go get a loan so I can upgrade my truck? Okay. So that means 6x4 is going to cost me $36,000. So I should be able to afford that. But if I go back to this guy, then I'll go back to 0. If I go there, that guy is expensive. Okay. See, and now I'm back. Okay. So I'm just going to do the 6x4. And if that doesn't do the job, then I can get a loan at that point. You. 6x4. Confirm. Okay. No more tag lift for me. It's a little bit sad. I really like my tag lift. Okay. Now let's get out of here again. Okay. And I'm going to be taking the same route basically that I just took, except, you know, I don't have to take that route. I could actually just turn instead. But then I don't get to test whether it's any better. I'm just going to assume that it's better and go with that. I do need to look at something though. Options, controls, keys and buttons. Where is my differential lock, which is V, huh? Okay. So if I need that, I know how to turn it on. I guess it'll probably prompt me anyway. Ooh, that's a heavy load behind me. Ooh, that was close. Okay. You turn on the radio. I don't want to turn on the radio. Okay. There's where I got stuck. Brings back memories. Okay. We'll see how much of a difference this 6x4 makes. Hopefully I won't end up in a situation where I need it, but there's a good chance, I guess, on this trip that I will, so. And I need to get over. Like, you know, right here. I might need it just right here. Come on. Wish the light would just change. We're gonna go ahead and lock it in. Do I have my lights on? I don't have my lights on. Yeah, you gonna run into me, cop? Okay, so let's go ahead and kill that guy. Okay, well that definitely made a difference. Now I don't know if I had to do the lock because I think it still runs both axles even if I'm not locked. I just lock the axles if I am locked. Okay, so now we've got some rain. Can we stay going on the on-ramp, or am I going to have to drop another gear? Come on. Come on. We can totally do this. And I do want to take... Ooh, and that is a very tight exit. So this next exit coming up is mine again. So I'm going to kick that back up. And I'm not even going to shift up because it's just not worth it at this point. I need to slow down. Okay, let's see. See if I can hold it in 4 low. Because I don't want to have to drop to 3. Think I'm going to make it. Fact. Nope, I'm not going to make it where I can shift. And this is a heavy load. 44 tons, I guess that's, let's see. In pounds, we're looking at 88, 96, 100,000 pounds basically. So that is a pretty heavy load, even in an American Truck Simulator. Okay, that is not my exit. Oh, wrong one. Forgot to shift. Oh, of course. So I can't figure out how to get these telepasses to work. I mean, they seem to work in the rest of Europe, but in like France and Italy, I haven't been able to get them to register. Okay. Let's get up to speed. Okay, and we are going to go to high and then to 4 low. Get up to speed. Man, it's a lot different driving loads this large, which I knew a little bit from American Truck Simulator, but it gives Euro Truck Simulator an even more challenging feel that way, with all the narrow roads and tight corners. I can see why the turnable axles are necessary, though. So I watched an interesting video, and it went kind of viral, I guess, so probably everybody's seen it. But it was a blade, I think, for a windmill that was being transported in the UK. I think it was the UK. Anyway, and it's going around this really sharp corner, and the thing is like 100 feet long, 30 meters, 40 meters long, something like that. And it's going around this 90-degree corner. It's totally got a steerable axle on the end, and just follows around the corner and straddles like, oh, it was crazy. If you haven't seen it, you ought to look it up. But everybody was saying, ooh, next DLC for ETS2, which would be kind of interesting, but I have no idea how you would play it, and in real life how those steerable axles in the end are even controlled. Oh. So, I don't know if you have a co-driver who, controls them with a joystick or what the case is. But, just a second. I'm going to check something real quick. I'll be right back. Okay. Oh, I forgot. Okay. I am back. Okay. So I'm good for a while. I've got 5 hours and 15 minutes left according to that. And I might make it before I have to sleep, but it is going to be tight. Depends on if I make any more mistakes like I did and end up having to get towed or something. So there's a good chance I won't make it, but one other thing, sorry. I keep popping out here. I'm going to pull up the stats here for OBS. Okay, we're good to go. So I still haven't heard back on, if you go back a couple of videos, I had a big rant about CSIO technologies and SKRS and the shit show that is. Anyway, I have ordered a mega shifter from Tech Affliction. I've yet to hear if it's shipped or not, but they do say that it's on average about 10 days, 10 business days from the day you order to the day it ships, and it's only been like 2 business days for me, so I'm not too worried at this point. Although it does make me a little gun shy after the CSIO Technologies experience I had. And I'm hoping that this one doesn't end out the same. So far, what I've seen has had pretty good reviews, so I don't expect it to go the same route. I guess we'll find out. Anyway, I'm really excited. As you can see in the video, I've got a, it's actually a G920, but I'm really looking forward to getting a mega shifter, Eaton Fuller style shifter on top of here. Obviously, I'm driving a Volvo, so, maybe I ought to be using a Volvo style shifter, although it doesn't represent it here in the cab. But I play American Truck Simulator too, and nobody seems to be making those ones, so I'll go with what I can get. I'm so looking forward to having the gear splitter and the range selector, and apparently I turned off my cruise or something. Oh, you know what? Because I exited the game, I'm out of gear. That's what it is. Anyway, I'm looking forward to having that. This is what I use right now, not that one, this one. And it works, but I'm looking forward to having something that works better. That's pretty loud out there going by. Anyway, this works, but that'll work so much better. I'd also like to get a VR headset at some point, an Oculus Rift probably, and I think that would be beneficial to have, because one of the pitfalls I see with using virtual reality is that sorry, just a second, I want to check something. Okay. One of the pitfalls I see with virtual reality, I said like 5 times now, is the inability to see your controls. So whereas right now I can glance down and look at controls and stuff, once I have virtual reality going on, I'm going to have to do it all by feel. And in fact, that could be problematic. Whoa, kind of going fast there for that corner. That could be problematic for my microphone here too, because I'm likely to forget the microphone's there and run into it. So I guess we'll see how that all goes in the end. But I think that having that shifter would make a big difference on how well I'm able to play the game with a VR headset, because I won't have that. Oh. So I let that guy go in front of me, and it ended up losing a lot more momentum than I thought I would. Anyway, the VR headset I think would go a long way there to increase my realism, but if I don't have good controls when I switch over, then I think I'm going to regret it and be fumbling for all the controls and not know where they are. So my most used controls I need to make sure are right where I know where they are, rather than trying to figure out where they are in the moment. So that's kind of my thinking on the deal. Anybody who's had experience with VR, especially in like Euro Truck or American Truck Simulator, can definitely comment on that and on the experience, and whether that seemed to be the case or whether it just ended up not being a big deal. I definitely see it. I don't glance down at my controls that often, but there are a few of them that are not within easy reach that I do end up having to look down and try and figure out where they are. And I feel like that'll come to bite me if I ever do get it. Currently I purchased the Tobii to try and give me a little bit of that, but oh sweet, I'm finally up to speed. But so far I'm not as happy. I actually purchased it when I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, but one of the deciding things that made me decide to go ahead and purchase it was that it also works on Euro Truck Simulator, although it does not work on American Truck Simulator. I've since learned that it only kind of works in Euro Truck Simulator because it's using an external program to track it and pass it through just as, screen movement. But more or less it works. It works better than it does in American Truck. Okay, so I've got, looks like my exit here. Time to start cranking on some retarder. And I'll back it back off because I think my engine brake's going to be enough at this point, especially if I choose the right gear. Okay, and so I'm not really happy. In fact, watching other people play with Track IR, I kind of wish that's the route I had gone, although it is also a more expensive route. Now, on the flip side, if the head tracking were enabled in Tobii, I think that would be just as good as Track IR, but it's not, so that's kind of a null point, I guess. Oh, speed limit's down. And so since we don't have head tracking, if we had head tracking, I think that the Tobii would work just as well as the Track IR, but since we don't. So Tobii, if you're listening, see if you can get the head tracking enabled. I'm not sure what's needed since it's the external program, since it uses VJoy instead of being built into the game. I have no idea what would be required to then get it enabled in the game, since it's kind of an external plugin almost. How difficult that would be, and apparently I stopped a little too soon. So I'm also not a game developer, so I really am not the one to speak on the matter here, but I think that would go a long way to making the Tobii a more useful alternative to VR. And I think for streaming purposes, and correct me if I'm wrong again, it happens once in a while, I don't know how well VR comes across on a streaming platform, because one of the things your brain automatically does as you move your head and look around and stuff is it already compensates for that movement in the way that it processes the images. Thus, you don't get sick from moving your own head and things like that. And I don't know how that comes across in VR. I've watched a couple of people playing VR on ETS2 or something, and I know for me, I didn't find it that enjoyable to watch, because it was just all over the place. Even if they weren't moving their head a lot, even a little, it makes a difference. And that's kind of what I find with Toby too, is if I turn Toby on, I feel like it's a little disorienting for me, and it's probably even more so for everybody else. Now with Toby IR, I think it would fit, because what I end up doing is I keep my head mostly in the same place and glance around with my eyes when I'm going down the road. If I don't want to turn my head, that's kind of my natural reaction, is to look with my eyes. And so if I had head tracking, then I could use head tracking to turn my view and use my eyes to just look at elements on there, like I already tend to do. And I think that it would be a good way to do it. So if Toby, so I have the Toby 4C, not the Toby X, not the Toby IX. So if the head tracking were enabled, then it would, I think, go a long way to splitting that difference between Track IR and the Toby, and kind of make it more of a useful alternative to VR. Because unless I looked at the pricing wrong, the Track IR is, I paid about $150, $160 for my Toby, and I think that the Track IR is another $100 on top of that, if I was looking at the numbers right. So it's not an insignificant difference, and if Toby could get the head tracking working, then I think that might also increase their sales, because it would become a better alternative, at least in this game, to the Track IR. Now, there are lots of other things that it, still wouldn't work in, but so be it. The one thing I did find, though, and like I said, I actually purchased it when I was playing Rise of the Tomb Raider, and that was phenomenal. The way it worked in that game was really awesome, because in Rise of the Tomb Raider, you look at somewhere on the screen, and Lara looks there. And if you have something in your hand that you're going to throw, you look and you can just throw it, and it goes to where you were looking, more or less. Now, if you choose, you can still hit the aim button and do a more precise aim. Okay. But it works pretty well just off the bat without doing anything extra, to just throw stuff where you want it to go. So that was cool. I don't know if if it's $140 cool for a single game. That's or $150, $160, whatever it was. $100+ cool for a single game. But I don't actually. Soma is actually the other game that I own that's on the list that would be interesting to try it out in. But I need to get back and play Soma again sometime. I did stream a Soma episode a long time ago, and it would be good to go back and play it again. But right now I'm kind of into truck simulators again, so that's probably going to be a little while before I do it. But that would probably be a really cool experience to play it on there, assuming it's implemented well. So of the current games I have, the only ones that it works on are Rise of the Tomb Raider, Soma, and Euro Truck Simulator. And again, Euro Truck Simulator is only really a kind of works on it, because it's not built into the game, it's an addition. And were it built into the game, I think it would probably work a whole lot better. I can understand SCS not building it into the game, because it's kind of, a one-off technology that would probably take a whole lot of work to implement and may not pay off very well as far as long-term goes. But there is some possibility there that it might be worth it in the end. So I think I'm coming up to my destination here. Yeah, hour and 40 minutes, so I'm about there. And I'm gonna make it before I fall asleep. I'm good on fuel, so I won't worry about stopping for fuel. Anyway, so the Toby is a pretty neat little piece of hardware, some cool functionality, but I think until you get more game support, it's not going to be very highly. It is kind of an entry-level virtual reality. At a third the cost of virtuality or fourth the cost of virtual reality. It's a compelling difference, or a compelling alternate option. But at this point, now I say this with a caveat because it really was cool to play on Rise of the Tomb Raider with it. But at this point, I would almost say I wish I had kept the money and put it towards getting my VR headset instead of buying the Toby. I don't know. It's hard to say because now that I've made the purchase and I only had it for about the second half of Rise of the Tomb Raider, but it really was a really cool addition to the gaming experience. But whether any single game is worth that much to improve the experience somewhat. Although I must admit, as I got especially to the last, after the last bonfire, this isn't Dark Souls, after I got to the last campfire and had that section where you no longer can save, and I don't know if I would have beat that without the eye. I'm not that good of a player, and to have the eye assist made a big difference, especially in the final battle with Constantine. So it might have been useful. Anyway, Tobii Eye Tracker, mixed reviews. I think the Track IR is a better option for something like this. If you're not going all the way to VR, I think that Track IR would be the better option because it does support the head tracking. If Tobii supported the head tracking in Euro Truck, I think that it would be just fine. With the head tracking. But since it doesn't, the eye tracking ends up, your eyes flick around a lot. I mean, your eyes move a lot. Your head doesn't move as much. And so the head tracking, I think, would come in more handy. Again, head tracking will make all the difference. So I'm holding a really constant 30 frames, which is fine. I feel like a game like this, you don't need the high frame rate for reaction purposes and stuff. It's not that type of a game. So I don't think that that's necessarily a big deal. And I think I would rather have a constant 30 frames instead of jumping around between, 30 and I get as high as 45 and stuff. And actually right now in this area, I would probably be pushing even 50 or more frames at this point. But it's still, I don't know as it would be the 60 frames that I get in American Truck, and so encoding at 60 frames I think wouldn't look as good as encoding at a constant 30 frames, and that way I can put more of my pixels towards I thought that might be my turn for a second, put more of my pixels towards texture resolution instead of trying to push the same resolution but with more frames. Okay, I am coming up, so right up here I will be exiting into Torino. And while I'm at it, I am going to DB Schenker is my destination in Torino. Anyway, I could definitely see where a game like an esports game or something, having the extra frames would matter for the experience, and in that case I'd probably stream in like 720p. But and also I'm actually rendering at Quad HD, so and I think I'm scaling at 150%. I'm tempted to go ahead and bump it to like 200% or something, since I'm not getting all the pixels anyway. Let's turn on this retarder. Since my GPU is really not pushing all that hard most of the time, I don't know, maybe I'd regret it if I actually did it. But anyway, so I'm actually rendering, well, at 3440 by 1440, and then I'm capturing 2560 by 1440 out of that, and then downsampling that to 1920 by 1080. So there's a lot of changes going on there. It seems to turn out pretty well in the end, so I haven't worried too much about the resolution, and I do upload my local copy to YouTube after I'm done streaming instead of taking the one that was streamed in there. So that seems to be a little better quality as well. But maybe it's, I don't know, I ought to look at it, give it time and look at it and see if it's actually worth it, because if the quality isn't significantly better, is it worth that? Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to take a screenshot. Okay, what do we got? Nobody coming, nobody coming. We're totally going for it. And I'm going to take a screenshot. We need that thumbnail. Okay. You know what I did? I didn't even notice. I lost my paint job. I switched. Ah, dang it. So in that case, let's actually minimize that a little bit, because I don't want to. And I lost my paint job. I have to go back and fix that. Yeah, we'll go over here. That's too bad. I'm like, I want to get my awesome paint job in there, and then it was not showing up. Anyway, I know, and I hopped on earlier today and compared some of the qualities that other people were getting, and mine just doesn't seem that bad. So I'm probably okay with the settings I have now. Doesn't seem to be. I'm actually just using my GPU to encode with. I know it's not optimal quality that way. Oh, it's totally green. I'm going for it. It's not optimal quality that way, but you know what? It's good enough, and it frees up my CPU, especially with this Pro mods going on. It really seems to hit the CPU badly, and if I've got more threads going, which then reduces my highest clock rate, then it seems to be even worse, and it's actually made me wonder if I ought to look a little harder into whether I can do some more overclocking. When I first got this, I kind of minimally overclocked because it just didn't matter much, but if I could get a few more cycles out of it, I might as well. And now I'm wondering, I'm trying to remember whether I pushed it to the point where it was getting errors, or did I just kind of push some, you know, bump the multiplier a couple of times and call it. I've got a Corsair H100, so I should be able to push a little bit. Whoops. As far as, oh, come on. That was the volume. I ought to be able to push a little bit as far as the overall goes. And what I actually need is better single thread performance, I think. And so if I could get the single and dual thread performances to bump up a little, and here is my stop. Okay, now we're going to see if I can park one of these with its steerable axles and all. Okay, where do I need it? Of course. Okay. So, one of the things I talked about on my last one is that I never set these up correctly. So I think what I'm going to do, what I usually would try to do is just kind of flip a UE and see how close I can get it. But I think what I need to do is go to the left over there and then see if I can back it in. See if I can straighten it out for the most part and back it in. Yeah, whatever. Fine, I'm in your way, I see that. One of the problems I'm facing right now is parking it in the dark. How close am I to sunrise? I'm still a ways away. I could go find a place to sleep and then just park it in the morning, and then I would have a whole lot easier time parking it. You know what? Let's do that. Okay, so where can I go sleep? Here in Torino, what kind of sleeping do I have? I could even just drop the trailer right out here instead of having to try and get it in there. Totally gonna do that. Okay. So, hopefully you know what? We're gonna try and park it first. No, because I can't even see. I cannot even see. Okay, so we're gonna just drop the trailers for a minute. We're gonna go find a place to park. Nope, not you. Okay. And then I'll come back and park it during the daytime. Ooh, that does make a big difference on my maneuverability having dual rear axles. I'm used to being able to just... Oh, don't roll away. Come on. I'll just drive over the curb, no worries. Yes, I am getting tired and I should find a place to park. You're right. So that's something that really takes some getting used to on American Truck Simulator, is the turning radius of the conventional trucks versus the cab overs. And that's kind of parked. It's definitely not the best parking job, but you know what? It'll get the job done. Let's get some sleep. Now I'll go pick my trailer back up. Go for too low. Okay. No, luckily we're just around the corner. This should be a fairly simple. Oh, crap! I didn't even see that car. Oh, man. That was really close. And I think they realized just how close. I might have to go get me some new shorts now. Okay. So let's come swing over here and pick up the trailer. Okay. Now, let's see how we got to do this. Okay. So we are going to... We're actually going to pull forward a little more. That's reverse, so you know. Okay. Now. I'm not even anywhere close, am I? I'm going for the wrong spot. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, so we'll try this guy again. Okay, I think we're about to where we need to start turning. Okay, how are we looking? Swung it too sharp. Okay, so let's go ahead and bring it out just a little bit. I might have gotten it this time. Yeah. Oh, that's only kind of in. Do I accept that or do I fix that? I think I'm going to fix that. Okay. So we serpentine out. Go a little that way. Go this way. And bring it back. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring it over that way just a little bit. Oh, bring it back the other way now. Follow it in. I don't even know if I'm any better. I'm not any better. Dang it. Okay, I'm not giving up that easily. Okay. Serpentine out. Go straight for a second. Straighten it back out. Okay, now. Oh, wrong one. Okay, that's definitely looking better. I think that's looking better. That's looking better. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay. That's looking half decent. I'll accept that. Okay. Okay. How'd we do? Good work. I'm probably a little late or something. A damage penalty. I don't remember damaging it. I must have hit it hard on a curb or something. Okay. Continue. Okay, 64,000, huh? So I need to go to a garage. I need to go to you. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to be okay. Oh. Yeah. $50, okay. Okay, that's not my turn. Looks like this is my turn. Okay, let's see what we got. I need to get my paint job back. Okay, so if we go here, and then I had the digital guy. Where's the digital guy? You. Only I had this color as this, and this color as this, and this color as this. I'm almost tempted to see what would happen if I do something crazy. That looks kind of cool. That would make it stand out a little. Go into like green. What about yellow? I'm going to go in the green area here. Okay. So, confirm that. Exit there. So now if we look at my truck, it's back to what I... Cool. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take another picture real quick, but that probably doesn't need to be recorded necessarily. Thanks for anybody that joined or watches or whatever the case is. It's been a time I got something accomplished. I'm gonna see if I can, yeah. Okay, that's it. Thank you much.